What really matters more in life, education or business? This question has lived in the minds of millions of young people for decades. Picture this, a young graduate standing proudly with his degree, his parents smiling with hope in their eyes, believing success has finally arrived. And somewhere else, another young man with no degree, no certificate, and no formal education is selling products on the street, working day and night, but earning more than the graduate. This is the battle between education and business. We live in a world where people are divided into two camps. On one side, people strongly believe that education is the golden key, the path that opens doors to opportunities, respect, and stability. Teachers, parents, and society repeat, without education, you are blind. They see schools and universities as stepping stones to a better life. On the other side, some point toward billionaires like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Ma, people who left their studies behind and still built empires. These examples fuel the argument, why waste years in classrooms when you can learn by doing? Why wait for a salary when you can create your own income? This clash creates deep confusion, especially for the young generation. Should they spend years in classrooms, investing money in degrees? Or should they jump into the business world, take risks, and try to build something from scratch? Here's a simple truth, both paths have power, but the journeys are completely different. Education is often about safety, while business is about risk. Education gives you structure, but business demands creativity. Think about it. A doctor treats patients through years of education. But a shopkeeper makes profit through sharp business sense, without holding a degree. Both succeed, but through different tools. Now imagine a boy named Ali. He studies hard, becomes an engineer, and makes his family proud. But when he looks for a job, he finds thousands of engineers already unemployed. His degree alone is not enough. Meanwhile, his childhood friend Bilal never went to university. Instead, he started selling clothes online. At first, people laughed at him, but slowly his business grew. Within a few years, Bilal was earning more than what many degree holders could only dream of. This isn't just Ali or Bilal's story. It's a reality many people face. Some degree holders struggle, while some uneducated entrepreneurs thrive. But this doesn't mean education is useless, and it doesn't mean business is easy. The truth is, education and business are two different weapons in the battle of life. Education shapes the mind, builds discipline, and boosts confidence. Business, on the other hand, teaches risk-taking, decision-making, and financial independence. So when people ask, education or business, which is better, the answer is not simple. It depends on who you are, what you want, and how much you're willing to risk. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world without education. No doctors to treat illnesses, no engineers to design bridges, no teachers to guide children, no scientists to invent medicines. Without education, the entire system of society would collapse. This shows that education is not just about getting a job, it is the backbone of human progress. Education gives something that business alone often cannot: knowledge, discipline, and credibility. When a student spends years in school and university, they are not just memorizing books. They are learning how to think, how to analyze, and how to solve problems. A degree is more than a piece of paper, it is proof of commitment and learning. Let's take doctors as an example. Can someone without education perform surgery? Can someone without training design a plane or create safe medicines? The answer is no. In fields like medicine, law, engineering, and teaching, education is the only way forward. Business skills alone cannot replace years of training and structured learning. Another big advantage of education is stability. Business is like sailing in the ocean, sometimes you rise, sometimes you sink. But education can provide a steady income and security. A teacher, a lawyer, or an engineer may not become billionaires overnight, but they often live a stable life with respect in society. Parents usually push their children toward education because it seems like a safer path. And to some extent, they are right. Business has no guarantees, but education gives at least some level of security. Even if a graduate doesn't find their dream job, their degree gives them credibility to explore opportunities. But beyond jobs, education does something even more powerful: it broadens the mind. It teaches patience, discipline, teamwork, and respect for knowledge. A person with education learns to communicate better, to think critically, and to adapt to new challenges. Business requires smart decision-making, but without a trained mind, decisions can often be based on guesswork. Let's go back to our story. Remember Ali, the boy who became an engineer? Even though he struggled to find a job, his education gave him confidence. He could speak well in interviews, analyze problems, and think logically. His friend Bilal, the businessman, was earning more, but when his business faced challenges like online scams and supply issues, Bilal sometimes wished he had the problem-solving skills Ali learned through education. This shows something important: education builds the foundation of wisdom, even if money doesn't come immediately. Many successful entrepreneurs, even those who dropped out of school, later admitted that education helped them in some way. For example, Bill Gates left Harvard to build Microsoft, but the knowledge and discipline he gained in education gave him the mindset to grow. Another advantage is global opportunities. Education can take you anywhere. A doctor from Pakistan can work in the Middle East. An engineer from India can work in the USA. A teacher from Africa can inspire students in Europe. Education connects people worldwide and opens doors across borders. Business, in contrast, is often limited to local markets unless it grows big. However, we must be honest. Education also has weaknesses: it can be expensive, time-consuming, and sometimes, degrees don't guarantee success. But still, it remains a powerful tool that shapes individuals and societies. So, while some say business makes money faster, education builds a foundation for lifelong growth. It may not make everyone rich, but it ensures knowledge, respect, and stability, the three things money alone cannot always buy. If education is the backbone of society, then business is the heartbeat of the economy. No matter how educated a nation is, without business, jobs cannot exist, and opportunities cannot grow. Business is not just about selling products, it is about creating value, solving problems, and taking risks that others are afraid to take. Business has a unique power: freedom. Where education often leads to jobs under someone else, business creates a path where you are your own boss. You make the rules, you set the goals, and your growth depends on your vision. This freedom attracts millions of people to business every year. Unlike education, business does not demand a certificate. It demands courage, creativity, and patience. A successful businessperson is like a sailor who dares to cross stormy seas without knowing what lies ahead. Some days bring profit, others bring loss, but every day brings learning. Take the story of Bilal, Ali's childhood friend. Remember him? He never completed his degree, but he entered the world of online business. In the beginning, his profits were small. Sometimes, he lost money. Sometimes, he was cheated by suppliers. But he never gave up. He learned from his mistakes and kept moving forward. With time, his small store turned into a well-known online brand. This is the true spirit of business: falling, learning, and rising again. Where education prepares you for exams, business prepares you for life itself. One of the biggest advantages of business is unlimited growth. A salaried person may earn a fixed amount each month, but a businessperson can increase their income as much as their ideas allow. There is no ceiling. If the idea is powerful and the execution is smart, business can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire. Think about the shopkeepers, the small cafe owners, or the street vendors. Many of them never went to college, but their hard work and business sense feed their families. Some even expand into big stores and chains. Business doesn't ask for degrees, it rewards effort, strategy, and persistence. Another unique feature of business is impact. An entrepreneur doesn't just earn money for themselves, they create jobs for others. A small factory can employ dozens of workers. A big company can employ thousands. While education gives you knowledge, business gives you the power to spread opportunities. But here's the truth, business is never easy. It comes with risk. Just as it can give wealth, it can also take everything away. For every success story like Bilal's, there are countless others who failed. Some people invest their life savings in a business and lose it all. Others struggle for years without profit. This is the danger side of business. It demands sacrifice, patience, and the ability to face failure without giving up. So who is right? The answer is, both, and neither. Education without practical application can leave you jobless. Business without knowledge can leave you bankrupt. Success comes not from choosing one side blindly, but from understanding your personality and combining the strengths of both. Ali eventually realized that his education gave him problem-solving skills that Bilal lacked. Bilal realized that Ali's structured thinking could actually help in business planning. When the two friends finally collaborated, Ali handling the technical side and Bilal managing sales, their partnership became stronger than either could achieve alone. This proves an important point: the clash between education and business is unnecessary. They are not rivals but complementary forces. One gives knowledge, the other gives opportunity. Together, they create true success. At this point, we've seen both sides of the story. Education gives knowledge, discipline, and respect. Business gives freedom, risk, and wealth. But the real question remains, do we have to choose only one? Or can we find balance between the two? The truth is, life is not about choosing education or business. It is about using education and business together. Imagine having the sharp mind of a graduate and the fearless spirit of an entrepreneur. That combination can create wonders. Look at the modern world. Many of the most successful companies were built by people who combined both. They learned from education, but they also dared to start businesses. For example, Elon Musk studied physics and economics before launching Tesla and SpaceX. His education gave him scientific knowledge, but his business sense turned ideas into billion-dollar companies. Education lit the spark, business spread the fire. Now, think about Ali and Bilal. At first, they stood on opposite sides, one with education, the other with business. But when they joined hands, something powerful happened. Ali used his technical knowledge to design better systems, while Bilal used his business sense to sell those ideas. Together, they built a company bigger than either could have built alone. This story reflects reality. Many partnerships in the world succeed because one person brings education, the other brings business experience. The clash turns into collaboration. So, what's the lesson here? It's simple: don't limit yourself. If you are educated, don't think you can't do business. If you're a businessperson, don't think education has no value. Success is about continuous learning, whether from books or from real life. Another important truth is this: success is not measured by money alone. Many businessmen are rich but stressed. Many educated people have stable jobs but feel unfulfilled. Real success is balance, having knowledge, financial stability, peace of mind, and respect. Education can give part of it, business can give part of it, but together they complete the picture. Parents also need to understand this. For too long, they have forced children into one box: either study hard for degrees or abandon studies for money. But the new generation must be guided to use both tools wisely. A child who loves science may one day invent something. A child who loves selling may one day build a brand. Both paths are valuable, as long as they are chosen with passion, not pressure. The biggest mistake is comparing one with the other. Education without business may limit income, and business without education may limit growth. But when both are respected, success becomes more meaningful. In the end, the debate of education versus business is not really a battle. It's a lesson about balance. Education sharpens the mind, business sharpens the courage. Education gives direction, business gives speed. And when direction and speed move together, success becomes unstoppable. So, the next time someone asks, which is better, education or business, smile and answer. It's not about choosing one. It's about learning from both. Because the greatest success belongs to those who never stop learning, and never stop daring.